Strap in because today's guest is crushing it in the Canadian real estate game. From wholesaling deals like a pro to flipping properties for massive returns and mastering the burst strategy to build serious long-term wealth for him and his family. He's doing it all and he's doing it fast. If you really want to see someone who started with no education to be able to almost buy his first property and almost give up, then you want to listen to this story. Enjoy. On today's podcast, I got a great guest here who specializes in wholesaling, flips, and BRRRRs. So, Mar Lou, would you introduce yourself and tell us where you're from and how you got into it?
Sounds good. Well, I appreciate first and foremost, I appreciate your time, Darren, for getting me into your show. And to answer your question, my name is Mar Lou. For those of you guys don't know me, my name is Mar Lou Merilles. I am from the Philippines, and I've been in the real estate game for 5 years. And I came here in Winnipeg when I was 15. Fast forward to today, I am now 34 this coming August.
That's great. So, you said you moved to Canada in 2006, a year before I came here in 2007. So,
Correct.
here's a question I always ask everyone is, were you born into money? Did you have a lot of money when you emigrated to Canada? Did your family come with pots of money and you can get going?
No, honestly, no. But my mother's family side was all business person. They were architect, and some of them have a different business. And then I grew up. My dad is also an entrepreneur when I was young, so I grew up watching people that has their own business, especially my dad. So when before we came to Canada, his business got didn't go anywhere. So short story, he went bankrupt, right? So for me growing up, I think he got bankrupt when I was maybe I would say 9 years old. So after that, life was very tough. We're always behind in school because school back home is not free. Just like here in Winnipeg, their public school is free. We went to a private school and we always have to pay.
Right.
And it was hard for my dad because he was the single parent. My biological mom passed away when I was young. So he basically raised us by himself. After his business died, he started driving taxi for a living. And that was his last job before we came to Winnipeg. So it's very rough time. And if I could remember, most of the day, it was just us three with my sisters because my dad will be working and driving taxi during the night. So during nights, it's just us three. We have to lock the door and don't open it to anybody. That was the rules at home. Once dad leaves the house, we must go inside and lock the doors. That's it.
That's
Mhm.
definitely a tough life, definitely.
Mhm.
So, right now, you are a full-time real estate investor.
Mhm.
So, how did you get started in that in 2020, as you said?
It's kind of a long story. I don't know if you have time.
Oh, we got time. You go ahead, tell your
Awesome.
story.
Okay.
We'd love to hear it.
So I did not start in real estate right away, right? When I came to Canada, I wanted in the back of my head, I always wanted to be in business. So when I had my son, my wife and I started selling some street food in Winnipeg for Filipino events, right? So we would sell those, and then in 2019, I got laid off from my job, my full-time job, and that sparked something inside me that I'm not safe where I am and with also with my family, right? So it hurt me because it's a good high paying job, but it's still I still got laid off, and that really scared me. What if I don't come back to work, right? So then while I was laid off, I was thinking, what else can I do to provide for my family? I was this close going back to school, taking HRV class, right? I was gonna
Yeah.
do HRV, but within 2 months they called me back and say, hey, come back to work, we're busy again. And so I went back. I didn't go to go back to school. And when I got back to work, that's when I put my focus and I told myself, I will be the one who's leaving this job next time. I won't be laid off. It would be me walking away from this job.
Your own destiny.
Yes. So, and this is not just for the context. I told that myself. I literally told that to myself. This is the last chance. When they call me back, I said, this is my last chance to do something different. So then when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do, I had a good friend of mine and still good friend till today. He has a couple of rental properties in Winnipeg and also in the Philippines, right?
Right.
Where I came from. So then I got kind of curious. I'm like, hey, how's rental doing? Or how can you start rental? He's like, you just buy a house, you rent it out. It sounds so easy. It sounded so easy. And then I was like, you know what? I have a good credit. I have a good high paying job. And why not? I don't own a house. I used to live with with my dad, with my own family. We live in one house. So I saved up some money. So he said, just buy a house, rent it out, and boom, you be a millionaire sometime. So then I pitched the idea to my wife, and she said, "Sure, let's look into it." So in 2020, end of 2019, I got really into looking at rental properties, and that buddy of mine was supposed to go into a property with me to buy my first rental,
Right. So
but it didn't work out. So then I still went through with the process of closing my first deal. While that was happening, he told me to read Rich Dad Poor Dad. So he's like, hey, bro, read this book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. So I was working on the process of closing the first deal. And then he told me to read Rich Dad Poor Dad. And then when I was reading it, I was like, oh my goodness, I'm in the right path. This is it. So I while I was at work, I was reading. Once I get home, I would tell my wife what I read. So I was super, super excited on closing the first deal because the book teaches you to own an asset, right? So I was
yeah.
like, this is it. This is it. We're gonna be millionaire. I'll be quitting my job, right? And then fast forward later, maybe 2 months after, I finally closed my first deal in February of 2020. And then it was closer to University of Manitoba, Winnipeg. And the goal was to put in students at the property and make it a rooming house.
Right.
And we all know what happened in March of
Yeah,
that
we do.
month,
Yeah, we do.
right? So I had 5 bedroom in that house. I only rented out 2 bedrooms and never got anybody else. So I was charging 500 for each room, and then the 3 vacant room, I just let them use it because nobody is coming, right? So fast forward 3 months after they moved in. Well, they didn't really trash the house, but they didn't take care of the house the way I wanted them to take care of it, right? So I told them, hey, I don't think this is working out. You guys gotta move out. And I had to fix the building trap, and it cost $5,000 to do that.
Oh,
And I just literally bought the house. So the stress level was there, and I wanted to quit after 3 months because I was like, this is not what Dad Poor Dad told me,
no,
right?
no.
He didn't talk about the tenants. He just said buy asset, rent it out, and where you go. Just
Yeah.
like how my friend told me. So after 3 months of owning that rental, I was like, I told my wife, this is not what I want. I don't want to be a landlord. So then I was this close of letting go of that property. And then in May, I don't know if you know Stephen Arnio,
Yeah, I do. I knew
right?
stuff.
He passed away in May of 2020. So then the moment he passed away, I was at work and I was going through my social media on Instagram, and I had a high school schoolmate who made a post about Stephen. He said, RIP Stephen Arnio, and thank you for putting Winnipeg on the map. So that post got me intrigued and clicked on his Instagram account. I said, "Who is this Stephen Arnu guy?" So I looked into it, so many videos. On his bio said award-winning real estate investor, award-winning entrepreneur, and then Rich Dad Poor Dad Hall of Famer. And then I was like, that was the book that I read. Who is this guy from Winnipeg? Right? So there was a website there. I click on his website. There was YouTube. So I was watching his video for days. Actually, that night when I went home, I bought two of his book right away. The Money People Deal and
Yeah,
Self-Made.
I got
Yes,
those
sir.
books.
So I bought it right away. Took action, bought it, and then I was so excited reading those books. The book that I read first was Self-Made. So when I came home from a night shift, 6 a.m., went to bed around 6:30, 7, and then woke up for some reason at 9 a.m. And then I was like, I want to read this book. I want to read it. I sat down on the couch, opened the book, and then put my audiobook, because when they sold the book, they sold it with an audiobook that he reads it, right? Put both the book in front of me and then the audio on my ear, read the book in one sitting.
Wow.
And I got so enlightened. And it says on the book that you have to hire a coach because there's so many mistakes that you can make in this game. And I believe it. And that's what really started the trajectory of my life, from in the verge of really quitting and to finding a way to make it work. From that one post of that friend, I told him when things was going great, I said, bro, if you wouldn't have made that post, I would be stuck at my job until probably till today. And I told him I appreciate you putting that post, because if I didn't see it, I probably would have quit my real estate dream and be stuck at that job. Yeah.
But you saw an opportunity and took it. That's
Yes, sir.
a
Yes,
lot of
sir.
people
Because
scroll past.
I was telling my head, I was questioning myself. I was like, there's gotta be something more into this real estate game. I know there's something gotta be.
Yeah.
There's more into it, because I said, what about those flipper guys that fix it and sell the house? So then when Stephen Arno came around, that's what he was specialized in. So that was the turning point, and I said, you know what? Let me invest money into myself, and that's when everything turned around.
Good for you, because it's absolutely true is when you try and do it yourself, you're learning the cost of mistakes rather than going off the education from the coaches and learn from their mistakes. And that's what makes us a true genius, isn't it? Learning from other people's mistakes. It's great that you were able to find a coach in order to learn from their mistakes rather than learning from your mistakes, because people, they'll learn from their own mistakes and then they could quit altogether. And you were lucky enough in the fact that you saw the opportunities that other people are having, and you could go from that with coaching. And it just goes to show that it's just one change in direction can change the whole course of your life.
I
And
agree.
there is a saying: when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. It's like that
Oh,
happened to you.
that's a good one.
Yeah. So now moving forward, you've been through all the struggles and you've been doing very well. So what does a typical day look like for you? Because everyone's always interested. What do we do from day to day?
So normally I would wake up at 4 a.m. or 4:30 a.m., go straight to the gym, hit the gym, get the day moving, and then I would come back home around 5:36 a.m. and then get the boys ready for school. And then after they're done, around I would say 9 a.m., that's when I get started on my business side of my life. And then meeting sellers, going on a call, and then lunchtime, and then in the afternoon, either I go see another property again, or if I have a project, I would visit the project. That's basically it. And then at night, my kids got basketball, and then the other one got gymnastic. So whichever day they land, then I have to go. And
Yeah,
then go to bed at around 8:30, 9 p.m.
fantastic.
Very boring day.
Completely different than the life that you used to.
Yes, yes.
So how quickly was it from when you started from the first, when you'd fixed the first property in 2020 to being able to quit that full-time job then so you could tell them that and
Sure. When I started with the coach, it took me 6 weeks to find my first ever deal, cash deal.
right.
And then it took 2 weeks after that to make my money back from the coaching. So I paid $20,000 to get a coach. And then my first deal made me $24,000.
Wow.
So within, I would say, a month and a half, I got my money back. And then I reinvested my money again to the coach. And then from August 2020, when I started with the coach, I actually wanted to quit my full-time job in June of 2021. Then we found out that my wife is pregnant from our son, which is he's turning 3 this year. So then when we found out that she was pregnant, told me, don't quit yet. Wait till I give birth, you take all the parental leave for a year, and then see how it would work out once, you're basically not working for a year, and
Yeah,
see if how real estate flow goes. So I would say technically I didn't quit until 2022, of 2022.
right.
Yeah, when I fully, my youngest son turned 1, that's when I said, I don't see myself coming back.
No,
And yeah, workplace knew about, like, had a feeling that I was not gonna come back, so they hired another person to replace me. So yeah,
yeah.
never stepped another foot inside that job after August of 2022.
No, you never returned to speak to them?
Well, I did, but working,
Well, not working, no.
yeah,
Now,
going back.
now
Yeah,
when you're going, you're talking to potential investors, right?
I guess so.
Money investors, yeah. Work colleagues become money investors.
Well, I tried to get them to invest in some of my project, but mindset is very different.
Yeah,
So don't want to waste my energy. Even my coach said, could give the good idea to people, but if they're not buying the idea, then it's a waste of energy.
yeah. For investors, like partners and things like that, they don't know real estate and they're not used to it. Can't say the right thing to the wrong person, so
Correct.
doesn't make any difference. Yeah, I agree with that.
Hmm.
What now drives you for the success to continue going?
My family was my drives me every single day. Family, even before starting real estate, is how can I, to this kids. I got 3 boys, how can I, my parents, right? I was able to kind my dad.
Oh, great.
We actually live in a fourplex now. Because I was the last kid to move out from his right, with my own family. I didn't even move out until I got my third son.
Yeah,
So I had got 2 sons there until last one came out, and then I bought this where I live right now, this 4 unit.
right.
And then year or almost 2 years after, I told my parents that, hey, go sell the house already, you guys have done enough. It's only just two of you guys. It's a big house, and you guys are working for the house now.
Yeah,
You're not working for us anymore, right? So I told them, sell it, come move into one of the unit here. I'm not gonna charge you guys any rent.
wow.
So you pay the utilities, but any rent, you don't have to worry about it. So
Yeah, it's a good feeling to be able to do that for your
of course,
parents, to give back
yeah,
after all those struggles that your dad went through to,
yes.
oh,
Oh, exactly, right?
yeah,
Him to trips as well, and with my stepmom. So yeah, a rewarding feeling for me.
yeah,
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 that drives me every single day to do better and to show bright path to my kids. Hopefully, they follow, be an entrepreneur or a real estate investor. just like myself.
Yeah. You mentioned in your that we had together that you got three boys and a beautiful wife, and it sounds like you've got the full support of your beautiful wife as well. Then,
Yes.
right from the day
Yes.
one, backing you all the way to go through and
Yeah. Selling those street food to those events, she was
yeah,
there. Laid off, she was there to support me. I was thinking of going to college, she was there to support me. And then thinking about doing coaching in real estate, even though I didn't have the money, she said, "Do it if you want it, do it." So
yeah,
I wouldn't be where I am today without her. So a great partner in life will, be the best thing you will have, So
yeah. I agree with
give
that.
all the credit to her. She's a full-time mom and I'm a full-time hustler, so it evens out.
Yeah, do need that partnership. It's just who we are as human beings. We do need that partnership, and we need that support in order to keep us going. And you got the family to push you forward.
Yes, sir.
So most people in our positions are trying to build generational wealth. I believe that's what you're trying to do as well. So
Hmm.
what does that look like for you? What sort of number you're looking for in order to be able to pass that on to your kids? Is it a dollar figure or a number of units, or what are you trying to pass on to them?
To be honest, I don't have any units I should leave my family. And for me, as long as I show them that this is, be the way to provide for your family, I think I've done my job.
Yeah,
Assets are cherry on top. If you know how to create the wealth through real estate, that's up to you to decide. But for me, if you gonna ask me that question, I would say if I could leave my kids, I would say before I pass away, 50 million in assets, I'll be happy,
yeah, good to have.
right? So,
Yeah.
as long as I leave them all the knowledge that I know now and the experience, that would be amazing for me.
Yeah, I think the knowledge is more important than the actual money or assets because they can do it themselves and be able to manage
Exactly.
it.
Build more than I've built in this world.
Yeah, because
Mhm.
that's the idea of coaches, isn't it? When you can do it yourself very, very slowly, but when you have a coach, you accelerate it. Like you said, it was 6 weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah, and weeks later, you're able to pay that money back. And then if you keep doing it, you're paying it back tenfold, 100 times, whatever it costs you in coaching. It just never goes away, doesn't that education?
exactly. The knowledge stays with you until you die, unless you pass it around to people and help people, right?
Yeah, yeah, the network as well. And you also need what you did. You took action. There's a lot of people that take courses and get books and never get to the end of the book or never finish the course and then never do anything with it and then try and do another one. It's a real key aspect that we got to go through these steps for sure.
Yeah,
And
for
just shows
sure.
with your success, you've done all these three steps and it's worked so well for you as well. It's
Thank you.
great to
Thank
see.
you. Hmm.
Shame you never actually met Stefano. He was a great guy. He was a very hard salesman, that's for sure. But
I heard, and yeah, that's my coach said. He said, "Hey, if Stephen was still alive, we would have been proud of you." I'm like, he's watching for me then.
yeah,
Yeah, over me.
yeah. To one of his conferences, I bought his books and I actually bought his study from home course.
Hmm.
We to cash and
Yeah,
blueprint to
everything.
yeah,
Those
but
them all.
yeah. I actually use Stefan's numbers to this day. I believe his numbers are the best numbers than what anybody else did.
Mm.
To make money with his numbers, that's for sure. It had every
Yes.
contingency in there, and yeah,
Yeah. Teacher, great guy, I heard. So
yeah,
I came for, the path.
yeah, yeah.
Mm,
Actually, and we take it from there, and we can pass on to whoever we want to teach to as well.
exactly.
So, if anyone out there wants to get a hold of you to maybe chat some more with you and learn more about flipping BRRRRs or anything like that, what's the best way they can get a hold of you?
On any of my social media, Mar Lou Merilles, my name Marlou, last name Merilles. It's everywhere. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn.
Great. All those links that you sent me, we'll make sure they're down in the description so they can check your channel and yeah,
Yeah,
great.
awesome.
Yeah, thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you, Darren. Thank you for the time. Thank you for inviting here.
Yeah, you're welcome.